Karen's fake SWAT smashed my door. My real SWAT friends gave them justice. They broke my door down at 6:14 a.m. on a Saturday. Wrong move, wrong house, wrong guy. My name's Cole Ramirez. I'm a 34-year-old tactical instructor for the state's elite law enforcement training academy, specializing in SWAT scenario development. I don't advertise that, especially not since I moved to Willow Creek last year, hoping to settle into something quiet after a grueling 10-year career on active deployments. My fiance and I bought a house at the edge of Oak Ridge Grove, a neighborhood known more for pristine lawns than high-stakes drama. Then I met Karen Devlin, the HOA president. If you've never been cornered by a clipboard and yoga pants, count yourself lucky. Karen ran the HOA like a private militia. She patrolled streets with a drone, left citations taped to garage doors, and held meetings like military tribunals. Her personal obsession, Code 6. 14, no unauthorized tactical training activity on residential property. See, Karen had seen me doing tire flips in my driveway, working out with sandbags and a weighted vest. Once, I let my buddy Marcus, a DEA agent, park his SUV in front of the house while we reviewed training drills. That was enough. According to Karen, I was running a paramilitary base. The warning letters came first, then a fine, then the threats: if you do not cease tactical activity, the HOA will escalate enforcement. I laughed at first. That was before the fake SWAT showed up. They weren't real cops, not even close, but they wore surplus military vests, had radios squawking nonsense, and drove a blacked-out truck with the words HOA Enforcement Team spray-painted on the side. At 6:14 a.m., they kicked in my front door. My fiancé screamed. I rolled off the couch, reached instinctively for my off-duty badge, and nearly went for my firearm before I realized these idiots weren't real law enforcement. One of them was using a paintball mask as tactical eyewear. Another had knee pads on backward. They shoved me against the wall and started shouting about code violations and unlawful resistance. I said nothing. I just waited, because I'd already dialed 911 with my smartwatch. And because I knew exactly who was on rotation that morning, SWAT Lieutenant Jasmine Nix, my trainee from 3 years back. 10 minutes later, the real black vans pulled up, lights, sirens, the kind of entry I trained people to make. Jasmine was first through the door. One glance at me, cuffed to my dining room chair with zip ties in my own house, and her jaw locked. Ramirez, you good, she said. Not yet. I nodded. But you will be. One by one, the fake officers were ordered to the floor. Karen stood behind them in a trench coat, clutching a clipboard and barking legal gibberish like, "We're operating under neighborhood security jurisdiction." Jasmine didn't blink. "Ma'am, you're being detained for impersonating law enforcement, illegal entry, destruction of private property, and conspiracy to commit unlawful arrest." Karen went pale. "But it's a community action protocol." "Karen," I said quietly, "you led an armed break-in. This isn't a debate about lawn height. This is a felony." The aftermath was glorious. Turns out Karen had built her own private enforcement team using HOA dues paid cash to a group of ex-security guards and online gun nuts who thought weekend airsoft matches qualified them for tactical operations. She'd created fake badges, had patches embroidered, even written up fake SWAT orders using HOA letterhead. The HOA board didn't know. When the news broke, they called an emergency meeting where I was asked to speak. I laid it out clearly. Karen used HOA authority to fund a private militia. She violated multiple state and federal laws. She traumatized my fiancé, broke into my home, and mocked the very system that trained me to protect others. The community was horrified. The local news dubbed it the suburban SWAT scandal. The footage of her team being zip-tied by real agents went viral. Karen was indicted. The rest of her team pled out for community service and fines. But Karen, she fought it. Claimed she was preserving neighborhood order. The judge wasn't impressed. "Neighborhoods," he said, "are built on trust, not force." She got 2 years probation, lost her home, and was banned from holding any HOA position ever again. And Oak Ridge Grove. We rebuilt. Neighbors came together. The HOA was restructured. A community BBQ raised funds to replace my broken door and help others whose homes were raided under Karen's watch. I even started offering free self-defense classes on weekends. Funny thing is, people used to fear me a little, thought I was intense, but now, folks smile, they wave, they bring over pies and talk about how safe they finally feel. Because when the wrong people try to wield power, it's not strength, it's fear. And when the right people stand up, even a fake SWAT can't stop justice from walking right through the door. The end.